Conservative management, fair and equitable appraisals, and taxpayers come first. Along with our fellow Republicans, as a lifelong conservative, I have always managed your property appraiser office with a fiscally conservative philosophy. Does that statement include the $90,000 retirement check you have taken since 2009? Each year, along with the $131,000 salary of the appraiser's office, as well as the $300,000 cash payout under the drop program you set up in 2005. In addition, please inform your fellow Republicans that you have listed in the supervisor assessment or supervisor elections pamphlet as a no party affiliation person, but you are running in a Republican primary. These are just a couple of questions. For Mr. Baker, he has billed himself as an accomplished conservative, decorated veteran, and a homegrown businessman. His father was elected as a state rep, the first Republican in modern times. You have a number of endorsements, but what experience do you have to be the Lake County appraiser? For Mr. Price, he has over 25 years experience as a private property appraiser. He is not a career politician, and he has many educational degrees behind his name. He indicates he will give you a fair value on your property and give you excellent service. What qualifies you to bring to the table that would make you a good Lake County appraiser and be able to run this size office with the number of personnel it takes to bring the services you feel the property owners deserve? And for Ms. Lee, her pamphlet stresses principles, values, ethics, matter, along with respect, integrity, grace, honor, and truth. Pam Lee has an interest in the appraiser's office coming from the position of a Lake County taxpayer. She has a background in quality control with the ability to analyze procedures in an office setting. Again, however, what do you have in your background that would make you our best candidate for Lake County appraiser? We have a number of questions. Our timekeeper is Al. Al, show him your 30 seconds. Show him your 10 seconds. And let's hear your bell. Thank you, Al. Each candidate in alpha order will be given 2 minutes for personal background, starting with Mr. Baker, professional qualifications, and major issues. Written questions from the audience will be taken. We have 2 already. Cards are on the table. Please, if you have a question, raise your hand, and George or Dick will come and pick up the questions from you. A one-time 30-second rebuttal will be allowed per topic. If candidate's name or reference to an opposing candidate is used, rebuttal can be waived. Questions will be directed to the candidates in rotating alpha order. Each candidate will be given 2 minutes for the final comments, and that will be in reverse order. Are there any questions from the candidates? Okay. We intend to run this thing until 11:30. We will not go past noon. First question, and this is for Baker, Mr. Baker. And we'd like for all 4 candidates, if they wish, to answer the same question.
Oh, Bill, we don't have a chance for an introductory remark, or just...
Yeah, that's what we're going to do right here. Okay. First question. Each candidate will have 2 minutes to tell the audience your personal background and professional qualifications for the office of property appraiser. Mr. Baker.
Well, good morning. Thanks for attending. I think this debate and really this race is about which candidate is going to be best prepared to move the office forward, to embrace new technologies that will result in better services, better cost savings, and I believe that I'm the candidate of choice in this race. My background is I've done work in regards, when I was your state senator, in regards to the property appraiser's office and property tax issues, to include allowing the property appraisers across the state to utilize high-definition satellite images, photographs, that has resulted in millions of dollars of savings currently across the state. I've also worked on property tax issues to include doubling of your homestead exemption from $25,000 to $50,000. My personal background is my brothers and I own the Peterson Gun Shop in Mount Dora, and we're available for all your hunting and shooting needs, I might add. My military background this month will be 31 years in the Army National Guard, and I bring up my service because it speaks to my ability to manage people. I took 130 troops from Leesburg, took them to Iraq. We accomplished our mission, we met our goals, I brought them all home alive. Currently, I'm a military school administrator in Camp Landing, in which I have 100 staff and instructors working for me, and we graduated 4,000 students last year. I am currently endorsed by the elected property appraisers of Volusia County, Seminole County, Orange County, Polk County, and several others. And these elected officials that I have worked with over the years think I'm the best qualified candidate in this race to move the office forward. But of course, the endorsement I look for the most is yours. So I look forward to this debate. Thank you.
My name is Ed Havill. I'm your Lake County property appraiser. I've been your property appraiser for the last 36 years. My background, I was in the U.S. Army. After I did my tour of duty, I worked full-time during the day, went to college at night, received 2 bachelor's degrees, and then a master's degree from Rollins College in Commercial Science. After that, I started taking courses. I graduated there in 1969. I was taking appraisal courses from the International Association of Assessing Officers. During that time, I was elected state president of the Florida Federation of Young Republicans, and I was re-elected the second year. I've been a fiscal conservative my whole life. I started working in campaigns for conservative Republicans when I was 13 years old. My older sister got me involved. She's 10 years older. And I was started out by giving out brochures door to door. The issues I can see facing Lake County in the future are technology issues. The office, when I walked in the office, it wasn't computerized. We completely computerized it. We've got PCs for everybody. The other thing is this market we've got right now is up and down, as you're well aware of what's happened over the last few years. And it's hard to keep track of what's going on. Amendment 1 sets a base down here whenever you buy a piece of property, and then you go up to 3% a year. So you have inequities between similar properties. And going up 3% a year on the Consumer Price Index makes somebody that bought their home, say 10 years ago, started this base, whereas somebody else that bought it last week starts at a higher base, and then the change each year. I'll get into more things in a little bit and some of the charges that have been made. Thank you.
I'm gonna start this my favorite way, which is a poem that I enjoy. So if you've heard it before, bear with me. But anyway, I think it's worth sharing. Tax his land, tax his bed, tax the table at which he's fed. Tax his tractor, tax his mule, teaching taxes are the rule. Tax his work, tax his pay, he works for peanuts. Anyway, tax his cow, tax his goat, tax his pants, tax his coat. Tax his ties, tax his shirt, tax his work, tax his dirt. Tax his tobacco, tax his drink, tax him if he tries to think. Tax his cigars, tax his beers, if he cries, tax his tears. Tax his car, tax his gas, find other ways to tax his ass. Tax all he has, then let him know you won't be done till he has no go. Then when he screams and hollers, then tax him some more, tax him till he's good and sore. Then tax his coffin, tax his grave, tax the sod with which he's laid. put these words upon his tomb. Taxes drove me to my doom. When he's gone, do not relax. It's time to apply the inheritance tax. My name is Pam Lee, and I am not a career politician. I have my own business. It's called Superior Interiors by Pam Lee. I'm very familiar with the value of homes. I've actually done service work here in the homes here in Legacy. And so I'm very familiar with the values of homes. And I look forward to sharing a lot of information with you, but I brought along a lot of charts if you have any questions. The property appraiser is actually a constitutional officer, and I brought the org chart to where he fits in. So I look forward to you learning about the property appraiser position and how they can best help you to peel back some of these taxes. These taxes are actually stumbling blocks to the future of this county. And I, for one, want to see what I can do to make sure these stumbling blocks are removed.
Good morning. Good morning. How's everyone this morning? My name is Walter Price, and I'm the owner of Price Appraisal Group in Tavares. I've been appraising properties in Lake County for the past 27 years, both residential and commercial. And I wanted to not only share with you briefly some of my credentials, but explain to you a little bit more about what actually goes into them. I'm a real estate broker, I'm a realtor, I'm an appraiser, I'm a certified appraiser, and I'm also designated from our professional society. Now, you might say, well, what does all that mean? Well, let me just give you an example. If you woke up today and you said, you know what, I'd like to become an appraiser. Well, first off, you'd have to have a college degree. Bingo, right off the bat. Then you'd have to go to school, you'd have to take several classes and pass a test, and then you would be a trainee. You'd have to work as a trainee for 3 years before you could get your own license to go out on your own. And that's where most of the appraisers, I'd say 90% of them stop at that level. The 10% of us that wanted to go on and improve ourselves even more have gotten professionally designated by the Appraisal Institute. I hold their 2 designations, they're commercial and they're residential. That involves thousands and thousands of hours of actual appraisal experience that's peer-reviewed. It involves demonstration reports. It involves many graduate level courses in appraising. It even involves a 2-day comprehensive exam. And I have to follow, by being a designated member, a much higher set of ethics and standards than the typical appraiser does. If I get into the office as your property appraiser, I plan to continue carrying those designations and upholding that higher standard of ethics that I have to abide by now. Thank you.
Mr. Havill, briefly outline your understanding of the property appraiser's office and duties.
Property appraiser is more than just an appraiser. Number one, you have to know more than the people who work for you. You can hire expert appraisers to work someplace else, but the bottom line is when they come in to talk to you, you better know more than they know, so you can talk about the other side of the argument on behalf of the taxpayer. I also get involved, we do what's called mass appraisal, which is different than what Walter's been doing. In mass appraisal, we've got about 200,000 parcels in Lake County, and we have to use our GIS system that the county's had. Here's an example of it. All the pictures, we got sales maps within the thing and everything else. Tells you what properties were sold, and that was long before Carey Baker got in the House of Representatives. We were using the GIS system in Lake County. The other big important part of the job is total exemptions for churches, total exemptions for other charitable organizations. I personally review them, and you get into income expense reports and things like that. 501c3 from the IRS. There's a whole lot of things, but I personally do all those things. Trusts are becoming a big part. Some of you folks may have trusts here at the Legacy, and some of the trusts are about that thick. I look at all the trusts to make sure all the elements are there to qualify for homestead exemption when somebody files. We've had a problem the last few years And that has been people, because of the economy, have come in, and maybe she's a resident here in Lake County and meets the qualifications, and he's a resident in Brevard County or up in West Virginia or something like that. So we have a fraud investigator that I set up for that. We can talk about that later. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
I want to draw a distinct distinction between my way of managing folks and the way Mr. Havill sees his office. I don't think that the property appraiser is the one who needs to know the most in the office at all. I think that if you have a well-trained staff, which he does, and they are very clear about what their job is, the job of the highest office is basically just to support those people as best that they can. It's not really necessary that you be totally trained as a property appraiser. It's pretty cut and dry. The Florida Statutes 475-628, it goes by the USPAP, Uniform Standards of Professional Appraisal Practice. So as long as everybody goes by their standards, it's pretty cut and dry. There's the Constitution of Florida, the information is pretty cut and dry. There's the statute, it's all pretty cut and dry. My function would be more of a leader for the property appraiser's office, and what it would do is basically support the people. And what I see in the office right now that really needs to be changed, I call it a design defect, is that there needs to be an audit done for processes, and then these processes have to come and generate an operating procedure for all of the employees in the office. I've worked at Disney for 11 years. Our managers don't do anything except sit around because everyone there is so well trained in their jobs that they know exactly what they're supposed to do and exactly when they're supposed to do it. The managers basically support the personnel and let them do their jobs. Thank you.
It is true that the property appraiser's appraisal function is a little bit different than what I do on a daily basis. They do what is known as mass appraising. Because they have 200,000 properties in Lake County to assess every year, they physically do not have the manpower and time to go out and inspect one-on-one like I do if I were to come to your house, if you were getting a mortgage or a divorce or for an estate situation. I do believe that the property appraiser should be the most educated appraiser in the office. I mean, you wouldn't hire someone to run your automobile mechanics shop as the foreman that doesn't know anything about working on cars. And if you came into the office and you had a complaint about your value, would you want to talk to a field appraiser, a clerk at the desk, or would you want to talk to the top person in that office? I want to go talk to the top person, and I would expect them to know what makes up market value, house derived, and how it compares to other properties in my neighborhood, and what particular situation, such as Save Our Homes, might make it so that your assessment is different than your neighbor's. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Right, Mr. Havill probably was accurately described, just the technical aspects of the property appraiser's office, doing the tax roll every year, which means annually, every property, every parcel has to be assessed annually. But what the property appraiser's office needs most out of the elected property appraisers is leadership. Someone to manage the folks, someone to provide great customer service, to embrace emerging technologies. Every day within the property appraisal world, new technologies come out to allow them to do their job quicker and faster at a greater cost savings to the taxpayers. I saw this years ago. I filed legislation allowing property appraisers to utilize some of these technologies. But times are changing, so it's a never-ending chore to embrace this. And so we need a property appraiser that's forward-looking, who's going to decide, where is a property appraiser's office going to be 4 years from now, or maybe 8 years from now? How can we provide better services? How can we utilize better technology? And I can tell you the question, about whether you need a certified property appraiser. You need someone that's incredibly familiar with the property appraiser process, which I am. In my legislative role, I oversaw the Department of Revenue's Property Tax Oversight Program, which provides the oversight for every property appraiser in the state of Florida. But so you need someone familiar with office, but you need a leader. Someone's going to manage people, someone's going to be forward-thinking. In my military academy, I'm the first sergeant, I'm an infantry guy. My colonel, he's air defense. Yet we teach a dozen different military specialties that individually we are not qualified to teach. Yet in this case, my military academy has received the highest accreditation of any academy in the United States. Because it's all about leadership, it's all about motivating folks, managing people, and in this case, protecting the taxpayers. Thank you.